You see what happened in LA now? The fires?
I told you before, very wicked, obscurantist, mendacious media.
How are you doing, my dearest family? Welcome again to Direct TV, bringing you the truth with Brother Joshua. Right in today's video, guys, I'm here with the man of God, Reverend Dr. Chris, and of course, the man of God, Prophet Uebert Angel, responded to, the fire outbreak in California. But this already, we know that is a fraud. But listen to the statement of the man of God.
Remember, the rapture itself does not have a sound.
Praise the Lord. Notice what the prophet said. Liars will begin to tell the truth. And what was preventing them from telling the truth, purely speaking, is Biden. Biden told them, and he has a video that he spoke, being interviewed by Joe Rogan. He said Biden administration would call and shout at us and tell us to drop what we were saying and to censor and remove information. Now he realizes Trump is back. His conscience kicked in. Let me give you something you don't want to hear. Propaganda is a disease. Do you see what happened in LA now? The fires? Check it. I know you didn't check it. Check Maui. Check another city before Maui. Maui, they had already put out that they are going to put a smart city with smart roads. And what came afterwards? Fire. Bend the exact location they want to put a smart city. Do you know what happened recently? And it's still happening? They bend the same location that they earmarked for a smart city in 2028. So when they want a location, bend it. And you see, when you talk like this, you talk like a fool. It's like, no, that's foolish. How can you believe such? You know, there is a precedence. 2 cities, banned, same location. They had already said smart city. Now this happens, smart city. It just so happens there is no water at the right time. It so happens that a month before the fire, all insurance companies insuring against fires, they pulled back and said they are no longer insuring. They will not renew. All of you, a month. Are you prophets? Some Uebert angel thing happening right there. How did you know? People want to renew. They say, no, we are not doing it this time. Wait a minute. Last year we renewed, okay. How come we are not renewing? No. All of them. Almost all say we are not renewing. How do you know it 2 months before? Prior to it. Year 2028 is already earmarked. 3 years from now, they earmarked it for a smart city. Smart road, smart city, everything in the same location they couldn't check. And everyone who has got their house burned is like, I don't want to come back to this location. I don't know if you're getting this. That's when you realize propaganda. They say something and then they change. Then they say something as long as it serves their interest. When a liar begins to tell the truth, be careful, because that liar will go back to his normal language. This is Zuckerberg for you. How can you be forced to lie? And you agree? I want to ask you a question. How is it possible that Biden was in power and all this war raging, Jews killing Palestinians, Palestinians killing Jews, Hamas against Israel, Israel against Hamas, and they said it was difficult to stop. Then all of a sudden, 5 days before Trump takes over, they announced that ceasefire. Yes. Oh? Is it your genius that 5 days before Trump you were able to broker a deal? Where were you all this time? Puppet on a string. There's somebody moving the puppet. The strings are being moved. And what you're seeing is just the media putting out some few things there. So it's a very simple thing. People believe the Bible. No serious historian would say this Bible is not factual when it comes to history. No. They might argue on spirituality, but they won't argue on the authenticity of the document. Of any record in antiquity, this Bible contains more copies than any book. I did not say any religious book. Any, especially the New Testament. Over 25,000 manuscripts and substrate of manuscript. Just imagine. I know what you think. What about Hinduism? From the time they received, whatever they say is the original, there's no original Hindu book, just so that you know. There's no original. All are copies, just like the Bible is copies. But the copies for the Hindus is over 1,500. This is different. Now hear this. Closer to the time of the happenings, that people could have argued at the time it was being written. They could have exposed the lie and said, this is a lie. They couldn't do it. Because this is true. Now, I want you to see something. Are you here?
Yes, sir.
All right, my dearest family, there you have it. Now, I'm sure many of you have seen a particular video where, the man of God, Pastor Chris, spoke about, their plan to, bring disaster, destroy things, which it was going viral. But I want to bring your attention to the fact that these guys, the man of God, Pastor Chris, equally spoke about smart cities. I've been looking for that video. I'll bring it. Don't worry. Okay, but he addressed smart cities because during 2020, these guys, they had a plan. Listen to this plan that they had. They don't care about you. So watch this.
The perpetrators of COVID-19 haven't given up. It was a plan for taking over the world. And they got so close. That was their most, it was their best opportunity yet. And that's why they don't want to let it go. They want to keep us thinking COVID-19. And then, remember, for the first time, they were able to lock down the whole world. Even though they planned it, it surprised them that it happened so easily. It surprised them that it happened so easily. They had planned for great resistance, and they were planning to use the various armies of various nations, having already convinced government leaders that it was a necessity. And many government leaders, of course, were misled. You have to understand that this global agenda, global government agenda, which is carefully sponsored by a Europe-led revanchist dream, has created certain things in our world. It's actually a satanic alchemy for the one world government, one world economy, and one world religion that the Bible talks about very clearly. The Bible tells us how that in the last days that's going to happen, and tells us when it will happen, and gives us all the necessary signs for us to know. And this dream of global government has produced two important things that we need to be very watchful and careful about. Number one, it's produced a wicked, I told you before, very wicked, obscurantist, mendacious media on the one hand, a truth-evading technocracy on the other hand, and then, of course, a delusional and abrasive political class. Such that if you're observant, you will see these characteristics that I just told you. This on the one hand. On the second hand is transhumanism that is disguised as human augmentation. And I want to distinguish between the two, because many don't understand that there's a huge difference between transhumanism and human augmentation, which is a sort of human enhancement. Okay? Now, scientifically, you have those who are pursuing human enhancement, better known as human augmentation, which is a technological way of enhancing the mental or physical abilities of human beings. Okay? So they may develop different kinds of gadgets, different things to help the individual perform better. And that is pure science. You know, individuals, science leaders like Elon Musk and so on are into that one. They're trying to build these things, which is positive. But then there's another one, which is led today by Klaus Schwab, which is transhumanism. Transhumanism is not the same as scientific human augmentation. It's not the same. Transhumanism actually is a religion. It is a religion that believes that the human evolution is incomplete and that it should lead to this human augmentation by any or every means possible, including technology. And the drive is posthumanism. I want you to understand exactly what's going on. So that is actually a spiritual thing. And so they clothe themselves and deceive the public by making the public think that they are into science. They are not into science, they are into pseudoscience. And the earlier we understand that, the better. They're not the same.
Alright, my dearest family, there you have it. So these guys have not given up yet. So what you saw is, part of their plan. And the video that I'm planning to bring to you, which I'm still making a search on, Pastor Chris did talk about the smart cities they were planning to mention during those lockdown period. You see, everybody were at home. So their plan was actually to have those cities, then only them would be. And just like what the prophet said, that that is the place, they were planning to have the smart cities, you see. So only them will be able to stay there, then every other person can stay there. So you see their plan all along, and it's aligning. So these guys have not given up yet, and that's why we must keep praying. I'll bring you that video, but I thought that I should bring this video now. Thank you so much, guys. I would love to see you in my next video. Bye.